Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be going over my picks for the top 10 best sports cars in Grand Theft Auto Online to buy in 2024. If you guys enjoy this video, a like is of course appreciated. Let's try to shoot for 5,000 likes if we can. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new and you enjoy my content. And let's go ahead and get started with number 10. Now at number 10 we have an OG. This is of course the Grotti Carbonizzaire, coming in at $195,000. Unfortunately, this vehicle is not available to just go and purchase in GTA Online anymore, meaning that if you want it, you're gonna either have to buy it from another player within the LS car meet, or you're gonna have to buy it from a dealership whenever it becomes available. The Carbonizzaire is one of the earliest memories I have of GTA 5. When this car appeared in the trailer, I immediately wanted one, and fast forward to today, I can confirm it is still one of the best sports cars of all time. Now, it doesn't have a ton of customization or the greatest performance. What it does have, however, is a great sounding engine and exhaust, a convertible hardtop, very slippery tires that allow you to do tons of donuts at low speed, and when you get up to speed, it does have pretty good handling to go along with the rest of the car. Now, on paper, this car kind of sucks, but as a car for having fun in GTA Online in free mode and being versatile, it is almost in a league of its own. The Carbonizzaire truly is a fantastic car, and whenever it becomes available, I would highly encourage you guys to pick it up if you don't have one already. And if you want one, get in contact with some people in the comments down below and maybe somebody can sell you one. Next up we have the Benefactor Shafter V12 coming in at $116,000. The Shafter V12 is an interesting car because not only is it in the sports category, but it is also in the sedans category. It's one of only two vehicles in the entire game that are in two categories due to Rockstar making a mistake, that being the V12 as well as the Shafter LWB, interestingly enough. The vehicle is raceable in both categories, so that is pretty cool, and surprisingly it's actually somewhat competitive, not only in the sedans category but also in the sports category because it has a very high top speed. On certain tracks, it can actually keep up with some of the fastest sports cars in the entire game, which is kind of surprising. It is a four-seater, has one of the best sounding engines in the entire game, looks pretty mean. Now, it doesn't have the most customization or the greatest performance outside of top speed. The handling is a little bit shoddy at best, and the acceleration, once you get above maybe 20-30 miles per hour, it's not so bad, but beyond that, it's kind of average a little bit. But it's still an awesome car to have for such a small cost. Next up at number 8, we have the Dubocci Massacro coming in at $275,000. Now, unfortunately, this car is another removed vehicle right now. So again, the only way to get it is from another player within the LS car meet or from dealerships whenever Rockstar decides to add it back into the game with an update week. The Massacro is one of the first cars that was ever added into GTA Online, meaning that it is very old. However, I still think to this day it is one of the best looking cars in the entire game. It doesn't have the best performance, however it does have a surprising amount of customization available for it, especially for the year that it came out. The acceleration is decent, it doesn't really have a hard time getting off the line despite being rear-wheel drive only. The top speed is average, and the handling is honestly a little bit below average because it does have sort of a tendency to understeer, which is extremely annoying. But overall, the looks of this car will get you to look past the performance issues that it may or may not have. Overall, it is a great car, and you should look into getting it whenever they add it back into the game. Now, to start getting into some real performance cars, at number 7, we have the Pinaud Le Carousse, coming in at $1,990,000. This car is ridiculously fast. It has HSW capabilities as well as Imani tech, which is pretty cool. But unfortunately, the Imani tech only consists of the missile lock-on jammer. There is no armor upgrade for it, which is kind of sad because that would make it a lot better and it would definitely place higher on this list. However, this thing is an absolute demon on-road, but also off-road, despite the fact that it's only rear-wheel drive. It's actually one of the best performing cars in the entire game with HSW applied to it, which is pretty cool and somewhat surprising. And as you'd expect with an EV, it has great acceleration, but it does, of course, have a weak top speed as well. However, it dodges the curse of most GTA 5 electric vehicles by not having generally terrible handling, which is kind of interesting. This thing actually handles very well. The customization for it is pretty unique, and I would say the car is definitely worth checking out if you're into this sort of thing, particularly if you play on new-gen consoles that have HSW available. At number 6, we have the Coquette D10, coming in at $1,510,000. The Invitero Cockette D10 is one of the most realistic looking vehicles in GTA 5, being based entirely off of the C8 Corvette in real life. Honestly, I don't really know how Rockstar doesn't get sued for this one. It looks exactly like the C8, which is kind of funny. It has a really high top speed with decent enough handling. It is rear wheel drive only though, so the launch is always going to be a little rough on this car. However, the car is fantastic overall, and the acceleration, again, similar to the Shafter V12, once you get up to 20 or 30 miles per hour, this thing will start to really take off. It does have some awesome customization options, and it's definitely one of the vehicles in the sport category that I would recommend owning. At number 5, we have the Grotti Italy RSX, coming in at $2,596,750, and that is just with the trade price. If you don't know the trade price, this becomes the most expensive non-weaponized or armored vehicle in the game at $3,465,000. Absolutely insane. However, this car is pretty amazing in every category except for one. Now, to start off with the RSX, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it is based heavily off of the Ferrari SF90 in real life, and it has all-wheel drive, similar to its real-life counterpart. The acceleration is insane, as you would probably expect due to the all-wheel drive, and the fact that it is based off of an SF90. It does also have a very high top speed to go with, but unfortunately the handling on this vehicle is just not quite there. With that being said, it could be a lot worse, no doubt about it. It is all-wheel drive, so that does help a lot, but the downforce on this vehicle is absolutely broken and doesn't work. It is non-existent, meaning that no matter what spoiler options that you put on the car, it doesn't matter because they don't actually affect the vehicle and give it any additional downforce. Overall, I would say it is worth the buy if you have the trade price or if you have way too much money in GTA Online. However, if you're struggling, I would say hold off on this one because there are some better performing vehicles that you can get, and arguably maybe some better looking vehicles, although the RSX really is truly one of the best looking cars in the entire game, in my opinion at least. At number 4, we have the Ocelot Pariah, coming in at $1,420,000. The Pariah at this point is pretty much iconic in GTA Online. It has had the highest top speed in the game for years now on last gen, meaning PC, Xbox One, and PS4, making it very useful for both free mode and for racing. It's got quite a good amount of customization, and it handles better than you would expect, with acceleration that honestly will shock you once again when you get up to about 20 miles per hour. The Pariah is awesome, and the only thing that it doesn't really excel at is in the looks department. It's not the worst looking car ever, but it certainly could be better. The customization options do provide some degree of help, but overall it's just not exactly the best looking vehicle in my opinion at least. Now, on the contrary to this, at number 3 we have the Obey 10F coming in at $1,675,000, and the Obey 10F, as I'm sure you already know, is based off of the newest rendition of the Audi R8 in real life, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. However, for some reason Rockstar decided to make this car rear wheel drive, which sucks, because as I'm sure most of you know, the Audi R8 is known for being an all-wheel drive supercar in real life. Now, they do make a rear-wheel drive variant of it, but I don't really understand why Rockstar would go rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive, because the all-wheel drive is what made the car iconic in the first place. This probably is the most realistic looking car in GTA Online, if not second, I would say. It does have a decent top speed, the acceleration is good despite the rear-wheel drive, and the handling, unfortunately, is a little bit less than ideal. It's not the greatest handling car ever, but it is still an awesome vehicle, and it is one that you should definitely buy if you don't have one already. At number 2, we have the Cayenne S95 coming in at $1,995,000, the second HSW capable car on the list. This car was given away for free by Rockstar Games to players who migrated from previous generation consoles to newest gen. And with HSW, it has a crazy high top speed of something of 150 miles per hour plus, which is insane, like most HSW cars, with that being said. And the acceleration is pretty good once you're off the line. I'd say probably when you're at 40 miles per hour, this thing starts to actually get some grip, so, you know, not too bad. Now, unfortunately, the handling falls a little bit short on this one. It's not the greatest, it's not the worst either. It just doesn't have a ton of grip. It's got way too much power for the skinny little tires that it has. But it's so fast that you probably just won't even care, to be honest. It's a great car, it's got some good customization, and it looks pretty cool overall. And of course, at number 1, the best sports car in GTA Online is, of course, the Grotti Italy GTO, coming in at $1,962,500. This is the best overall sports category vehicle in GTA Online. It's all-wheel drive, it has insane acceleration, phenomenal customization options, great handling, a high top speed, and great looks. It's a package that's pretty hard to pass up on, and the Italia GTO is easily my favorite sports car in the entire game, and for good reasoning. I have won so many races due to this car, it is unbelievable how good it is. In fact, it even outpaces some of the top HSW cars within the sport category, which is kind of insane considering it doesn't have HSW. That's how fast this car is. It is like supercar fast in the sports category. And it's not like a low tier supercar, it's like right up there with a lot of the top supercars. This thing is insane. It is definitely one that you should own. The Italia GTO is fantastic in every single way. Anyway guys, there you have it. Those are my picks for the top 10 best sports cars in Grand Theft Auto Online to own in 2024. Let me know what you thought on my list in the comment section down below. If you think there's any cars I missed, put them down below and maybe I'll make a part 2 to this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. As I said at the start of the video, let's go for 5,000 likes. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Peace.